Music on, pop the scene on, there we go. I'm just waiting for the live feed to come up, so yeah, we're just counting down. Just hope everything's worked today. Oh yes, I think. Live stream, here we go. We're on. Just turn the volume down. We're on. Lovely.
Whoa.
At least I think we're on anyway. Yes, we're on.
We're on.
I can't see any feed yet, but I'm sure that'll come in a minute. Oh, hang on, let's put the... There we go. Lovely. Super duper. Well, good morning, everybody. I've got the lovely Lisa Baker in the room today. We're talking about awesome vision boards, all things vision boards, folks. So we're really looking forward to that. And yeah, there's lots of people joining up at the moment. Brilliant. Nice to see you all. Thank you. We're almost there, folks. Just counting down now. Lovely. Down, well. Love this piece of music. And we're on. There we go. Well, good morning, everybody. It's a Tuesday morning, folks, here in the UK, and it's just after 8:45, and we are live, folks. Spreading the love here. We're streaming out on LinkedIn, we're streaming out on YouTube, we're streaming out on 2 Facebook groups, and on Twitter, and all things social media. Wow. So good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are. Welcome to this week's Leaderslive breakfast show. And so today, my special guest today is my good friend, the ever so lovely Lisa Baker, Queen of Vision Boards. Yeah. Yeah. Great. Good to have you on the show, Lisa.
Oh, thank you. And I love that title. I think I'm going to own that one.
Yeah, the Queen of Vision Boards. Well, hello, says Tanya. Hello, Maria Jeffers. Lovely to see you. Thanks for the invitation, she says. You're more than welcome. So we've got people joining up on. So look, Lisa explains why vision boards are awesome for setting massive goals. That's where we're heading today. And I'm privileged, Lisa, and delighted to have you on the Leaderslive breakfast show this morning, Lisa. Just a quick bit of background for Lisa, for you guys. Lisa Baker is a lifestyle and confidence coach for women, helping them flourish, and that's part of her brand, to become a happier and more confident version of themselves. Now, quick one here, folks. Now, Lisa has had an extremely heartbreaking year this year. We talked about this beforehand, and Lisa's husband Nick and father of their 2 lovely girls died very suddenly last year from an aggressive cancer. And so today Lisa is taking her first brave step back into the business world, folks, and I'm privileged, absolutely privileged, Lisa, to be part of your journey, back into the business world here. So we need all the love in the room for this lovely lady. And Sarah Hughes says, good morning, happy to be here. Good morning, Ray, great to see you. So Lisa, I'll be back to just in a tick. We'll come to just a moment. Just a very quick teaser for you folks listening in. I don't know about you guys, but I've always been blown away by the power of vision boards. Whatever your aspirations are, whether it's something personal, whether it's for family, whether it's a career goal, a new venture, a vision board will help you to get there, folks. And Lisa will share lots of practical ways that you can plan, that you can start and create your own vision board, and what to include to get what you desire and to happen in your future. All this and a lot more. And in this rapidly changing world, folks, our futures will certainly depend on the vision thing. So I think that's really important. And I think President Bush called envisioning the vision thing. That's what he called it. So I've just nicked his word there. So if you don't know me, I'm Andrew Jenkins. If you're new to Leaders Live, please say hello in the comments. I know people have already done that. As always, folks, we love you to interact and engage and chat with us, and especially ask us lots of questions and comments. We love an interactive session. Don't be shy, folks. Just keep on adding the comments. Smash those likes as well. Thumbs up are always good, folks. Believe it or not, they keep us going and keep us motivated too. We really appreciate the thumbs up from you guys. And please subscribe to my YouTube channel, and I'll add the link in the comments as well to my news feed as well. So please let me know if our audio is coming through, and we need to come back to the lovely Lisa. Hello, good morning, Kathy Heath and Sarah Hughes and Christina. Lovely to see you all. Let me just give you a round of applause before you start, Lisa. Dun, 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 dun. Ah,
Oh, I'm loving all the gadgets.
I love it all. Like, well, it's got to
Yeah.
spread the love, spreading the love. Yeah. So, Lisa, over to you. Tell us a bit more. What is a vision board? How does it work? Take us away, Lisa. What makes it so
Okay.
useful? Go for it.
Well, if I put it simply, it is a
Yeah.
visual representation of our goals and our dreams in a
Yeah.
simple format. They say a picture says a thousand words. And if you
Mm.
think of your brain as a messy room, to me, a vision board kind of helps to tidy it up.
Right. Nice.
Yeah, I think it's a time to focus and go inwards, and to help you tap into your subconscious, and what it is that you desire. I think, we live in such a busy world. We live in such a fast and furious
Yeah.
world, and, it's all about logic, 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 logic. As whereas sometimes a vision board's it gives you the space to actually think about what do I want, and and I've been doing them for years.
You have.
And I think if just one primary example, this was one of my first ones I'd done here. And I'd had a really rubbish, I remember in 2017, my nan
Let's have a
passed
look.
away, and it wasn't my,
It's not that one.
no,
Just trying
one
to
with a
get to it.
party in the middle.
That's the
That's it,
one.
the one with
Yeah.
a party in the middle. Yeah, 2017 hadn't been the best year.
Right.
And then I'd done this at the beginning of 2018, for 2018, and I just wanted to spice up my life and I wanted more parties.
Spice up
So
the
be
life.
careful what you ask for, because obviously I did have quite a lot of hangovers that year. But
Yeah.
actually, I didn't know until I was, allowed myself the time to sit to think about what it was that I wanted. I didn't know at that time. I just felt that life was a bit flat.
Yeah.
And that picture popped out at me, and I was like, that's what's missing. So yeah, they really help to trigger things within you that sometimes I don't think just sitting there with a piece of pen and paper does.
Yeah, that time to slow down a little bit, Lisa, to reconnect to that inner self that you talked about, and connect to your subconscious. Tap in, I think, was the word that you used. A lovely expression. That I really like that, and to get you closer to what you want. That I think that's really important, isn't it? That whole thing about getting to what you want, what you desire, what's in your heart, really. I suppose what's authentically you, Lisa.
Absolutely, because I think, we don't spend enough time just stopping and thinking. Sometimes we have on people's vision boards, you can have like the money or the house or the car,
Of
but
course.
actually there's always something, there's a reason why you want that. Yeah, you might want a car, but what does the car represent to you? What does it mean? And I think, yeah, more than ever now, obviously after losing my husband 10 months ago,
Yeah.
I have zero idea what I want my future to be at this moment in
At
time.
the
I'm still
moment
a
in time.
mom.
Yeah.
Yeah. And actually, that's the reason it was interesting that you obviously spoke to me. We met for lunch and we spoke about vision boards. And that's exactly what's going to get me through this, because at this moment in time, unless I tap into my intuition and my heart, I really logically, I have no idea what my life looks like, because all of these vision boards that you'll see were what my life was going to be, as whereas obviously that's changed. So unless I actually allocate the time to tap into that, then I'm not. It's an excellent guider. It's going to be my guide.
An excellent guide. And when you get these life-changing moments, Lisa, like you've obviously had to go through in the last 10 months, I guess there's a time when you don't do vision boards, and there's a time when you do vision boards. And I guess if you're not feeling that that's the right time, then it's not the right time, right? But there will be a right time for you to
Absolutely.
re-envision the vision thing, as it
Oh,
were.
absolutely. I mean, gosh, for the first 4 or 5 months, I was just numb. I didn't even know what day of the week it was, let alone what I
Yeah.
could vision. I was just visualizing getting out of bed, taking the dog a walk, thinking about
Little
what was we going to
steps.
eat today. Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. As whereas I suppose, like anything, I'm kind of reached that point where, in January it's going to be 12 months, and I'm like, okay. Psychologically, I gave myself 12 months to just adjust to being alone. As whereas now I feel, okay, I've got to find a new inspire myself to reignite with my passion for life, because I am naturally a happy, joyful,
You
content
are.
person.
Yes, you are indeed.
And it's been shattered, but I know that I need to my husband would not be looking down on me, expecting me to just sit and wallow. So I've kind of got to live an extra double life for both of us, really. So
Yeah.
definitely my time for tuning in and creating a new vision I'm definitely ready, really. So come January, well, in fact, I'm going to do myself a Christmas one.
Nice.
Yeah, I'm going to do myself just a Christmas one to help me get through this.
Christmas one. There's one here. It's a Christmas one somewhere. I've got a
Yeah,
few examples of Lisa's here. Which one is it? Is it this one? No. Where
no,
is it? It must be number 2. Is that the one?
that's the one.
Yep.
Yeah, I
Have
done
a
that a
meaningful
couple of years
Christmas.
ago. Yeah.
Yeah.
Now the truth is, I do look at that, and actually some of the stuff is still the same. I'm still Lisa Baker.
Yeah.
I've just had obviously a really sad situation happen in my life.
Mm.
But and it's silly things like there. I've wrote tummy love. A lot of women,
Tummy
when we
love.
get into our 40s and we go through that menopause and our tummy grows, and
Tummy
sometimes I'm
love.
like, just love it, because actually, but as I was flicking through the magazine, I didn't know that I needed to tell myself that, but that just reminds me, just love who you are.
Just love who you
just
are.
eat, just eat the mince pies and the cake and drink the cocktails. It'll be fine.
It'll be fine. I love that. This is what Tanya Witchman says. She's joined in here. Good morning, Tanya. She says, look, I found that in times of trouble, when you don't know which way to go, making a vision board brings some comfort. And I think you've just been talking about that. And sometimes they are filled with small stuff, but that's enough to get you out of the hole, to find yourself in, to get yourself out of that hole. Yeah. Something to look forward to. Thank you, Tanya. What say you, Lisa, to that little comment there?
Yeah, I totally agree. And it is, do you know what, Tanya? You're right. It is the small stuff
The small
sometimes.
stuff.
In
Yeah.
life, we have this perception that it's the big things. There's nothing
Yeah.
big. I've had a big, massive thing change in my life. I just need some small little wins. That's
Yeah.
all my life needs to consist of at this moment in time.
Those little
And
steps.
those little tiny steps, absolutely. But sometimes it is the small stuff that feeds our soul. We just forget.
Yeah, we just forget, don't we? Okay, look, audience, please interact with us. Look, you've got lots of questions too, but let's sort of dig into this a little bit. What categories can they be useful for, Lisa?
Oh, yeah. The thing that I love the most about vision boards is there's no rules. And for
There's
people
no
that don't like
rules.
rules, that's great.
Yeah,
Um, if you think, for those of you who have done a wheel of life out there, you've got your areas of your family, your friends, your home, your career, your health, money. Um, it totally depends on what you want your vision board to be about. For some people, they might do a life vision board. I think initially this one was my life vision board, which kind of contained a lot of everything. So as I designed it, I'd kind of categorized, like up here was like about my health. This was about my family. This was about my business. So it was kind of linking it all together on one board. But then sometimes people might want to just do a health board, for example, and they just want
right.
to think about everything that they could think about, just to really focus on that one topic, which is something that I will be doing because my health has gone out the window a little bit, absolutely, but I'm allowed and that's okay. So there is no right or wrong. I think sometimes I know when I've had a friend who's an interior designer came and done my bedroom, and they call it a mood board in that industry, but really it's the same thing.
Ooh,
It's
mood board.
collecting images of what something's going to look like.
Okay.
So yeah, there is no rules. I think it's what you feel that you want to do it on. Sometimes I think relationships can be a great one to think about. I have always added relationships into mine because I think for me personally it's the most important thing
Yeah.
in our lives, the relationships we have. And sometimes we have to think about, what do we want that to look and feel like? And I think a vision board's really great for that.
Yeah, a vision board's really great for that. Wrong scene. Sorry, there we go. There we go. That's better. That's the scene I wanted. Yeah, I like that idea. Now, Kathy Heath, she's commented and says, oh, this is quite a nice one. Andrew is a great example of the power of vision board. He inspired me. Well, thank you very much, Kathy. Yeah, I've got my vision
Yeah.
board on my behind me, actually. And Ray Black says, so morning again, Ray. Love the thought of living a double life for you both. Whatever position you are you are in. You have to live your best life, says Ray. I love that. So yeah, thank you, Ray. Andy comments here to say, Andy Davis, morning Andy. He was on the show last week actually. Great to see you, Andy. Small steps make long journeys. Ooh, a bit profound that, yes. And Mr. Wilkes here, my mate David, visualizing your want is really powerful. Yeah, any thoughts from you, Lisa, about those thoughts that
Yeah,
are being shared at the moment?
absolutely. You know, that last one, visualizing your want, is really powerful. Do you know,
Yeah.
kids do it subconsciously, you know, when they do their Christmas list, you know, they want this, they get the Argus book and they cut it out and they stick it on because they want Santa to bring it. So,
This is what
you
I
know,
want. Yeah.
yeah, this is what I want.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is. It is good to tap in and think about what you want. But yeah, you know, and it's a shame even with leaderships, you know, when I worked in the education sector, we've done quite a lot of vision board workshops, but around the school's vision and values. It could be around, you know, what kind of leadership team do they need to become, you know, and sometimes it's really hard to explain. You know, some people are good with words, some people are not so good with words, as whereas I think when collectively they come together and cut out different images, then they
Pictures.
could sort of pictures, yeah, they could understand each other better, and then collectively they had a vision, which was
Yeah.
also really good.
And a picture's worth 1,000 words, isn't it? So you can say a lot
Absolutely.
more in visions. Yeah, I like it. Sorry, in visual stuff. I mean, I've used them with sales teams as well. And Ray's part of Ray Black, who's with us today. He's part of a sales team, and yeah, fantastic to motivate sales teams. I remember doing this as an NLP program years and years back. And then the sales team really embraced this. And I was in the office one day and they called me into their office and said, look what we've done. And all of them had created their own vision boards for their own desires and what they
Yeah.
wanted out of the sales that they were getting, you know, and what their bonuses would pay for, and, you know, whether it
Yeah.
was cars or watches, or it didn't really matter for them. They were all a young
No.
team, right? And they were motivated by it. So, you know, I thought
Yeah.
that was really, really useful. Kathy says this: I love that a vision board aligned with the wheel of life. Kathy has some coaching academy training here. For a long time, I've left out health. I only included work, career, family, and relationship, but now, yeah, premenopause is hitting me like a truck. You know, that mental pause. I was going to come on to that. Very topical at this point in time for health management and things like that. So I think Kathy's spot on. Kathy's the CEO of Healthy Minds Club as well, so that's why that's so powerful for her as well. And I've got a LinkedIn user here. I'm not quite sure this. I'll find out who this is in a moment. I have enough time to create vision boards as a Christmas present. Oh, have I enough time to create a vision board as a Christmas present? He says, or she says. Now,
That's
there's
an
a thought.
interesting
That's an
question.
interesting point. Yeah.
Is the Christmas present for yourself? Or do you know of what somebody else wants that you're going to create that vision for them? It's a bit of a, I'm not sure on that question.
Not sure on that question. Yeah, that's from Graham Rose. I've just found it on another link. So thanks, Graham, for that. We might warm up to that one. We're not sure yet.
Yeah.
Yeah, how can you take a vision board to the next level to implement your vision into reality? Now, come on, Lisa. That's a good question
Ooh.
from Christina there. Love that.
Absolutely. Do you know what the most important people have this perception, especially with the law of attraction? If you just think about something, then it will happen, and we all know that. Unfortunately, you do have to take action. But I
Sounds
think for
good, doesn't
me,
it?
yeah, it sounds good. But absolutely, categorically, you have to look at it every day. You
Yeah.
know, it's put it. You need to put it somewhere where you can see it. Mine personally, all of these, believe it or not, live in my bedroom at the end of my
Wow.
on one of my dressing sides, and I just change them. And sometimes, you know, I'll literally just before I go and wash my face, I just stand and stare at them
Yeah.
and really tap into the why behind I chose that image in the first place, because they're all on there for a reason. They all triggered an emotion within us that made us want to put it on there. And I think we have to keep tapping into that, because that's the bit that drives us. Because let's be honest, we could give in. Some days you're like, oh God, you know, when you've had a bad day,
Yeah.
you forget that that you've had a bad day, because that's going to help you achieve your end goal. Because we kind of lose focus of them because they're just all in our head. As whereas I think when they're out, visually,
Yeah.
you can go and look at them and you can remind yourself, no, this is why I'm doing it. This is what I want to achieve. This is how I want to feel. And I think the more you program it into your subconscious, it then sort of starts to help to motivate you to keep going, really.
Yeah, I'm gonna come back onto that, and that constant reminder there, Lisa. That's what the vision board does. You look at it and it reminds you over and over, doesn't it? And the picture's so powerful, more powerful than words, I'd suggest. Kerry says this. Morning, Kerry. Sometimes we don't know what we want until we start to visualize it. Ooh. And once we do that, the sky's the limit. Vision boards can change our whole mood just by having them around us during the day. Do you know what, Kerry? Spot on. And just picking up Kerry's comment and Christina's earlier, I remember going for my karate black belt, and going through the colours. And on my vision board, I had a picture of me. I'll grab it in a minute. A picture of me in my karate gig going like this with a white belt on. And every time I was going for the next belt, I coloured the white belt the colour I was going for, right, until I got it, and then I rubbed it out and started again. When I got to the browns, it was just too hard to do because the brown, it was endless. It just went brown, double black. It just like goes on forever. So I just painted it black, and then I put a date on it and said black belt by such and such a date. I did it in that time. And then I thought, oh, if I can get my first down doing that way and visualizing it and putting it on my vision board just like that. And I saw it every day for 5-6 years as I was studying to get there, probably 7 years by the time I got to my black belt. I thought, well, if I can do first down, maybe I can do second down. And so the second down went on, and so it went on until I got my third down. So, that can be really powerful. Christina just says this, can a vision board be a reminder of gratitude, Lisa? There's a good question for you.
Yeah, I love that. My personal opinion, absolutely. If I, more than ever now, I suppose with the situation I'm in, if I look at my vision boards that I have here, I can't tell you how grateful I am that I had a lovely life with my husband and have done some of the things that have been on these vision boards. And actually, it's a real great reminder for me personally right now how lucky that I am and I have been. So absolutely, definitely.
Yeah, that whole thing about gratitude is so important, isn't it? And Christina asks a question here. How can you take a vision board to the next level to implement your vision to reality? Have we touched on that one, or have I just repeated that, or is that just another question from Christina?
We've kind of touched on it. I think to make your vision, the next level it is about looking at it, but it is about taking action. That's the hard
The
part.
hard
Like I
part.
said,
Yeah.
you do it, but like for you to get your black belt, you didn't just keep looking at the picture. It didn't just then happen. But the looking at the picture motivated you to keep going to get to that end result.
Spot on. I've got a picture still on my vision board actually of a Virgin jumbo jet, the front end, because it looks sexy, that front end piece. Because I wanted to go to America and do some work, and do you know what? I went to America on the Virgin plane that was in the picture. That was like really a bit bizarre, that one. Maria says this, I've never done this, but I'm definitely going to put one together. I think I will focus on a hobby that I have to set goals for. Yeah, start on a hobby, start on something small and get bigger. Absolutely. I think Kathy said something or other. Love the idea. Here's Kathy's. I love the idea of a vision board. I'm going to do it with my exec. Absolutely, Kathy. Yeah, and I'm part of Kathy's board team, so no doubt we'll be doing that vision board together. Kathy, I'm sure. Brilliant idea. Love the idea of that. I'm definitely up for that. Ray says this, in corporate business, a vision has most often been driven by financial goals. The mood is changing in the picture board for any business and community health, good causes and sustainability seems far more applicable today. Spot on, Ray. I think we're getting a new set of values, right? It's not just about financial goals anymore. We've got to look beyond just the financial incentives and making money. There's nothing wrong with that. I'm not suggesting that for a moment, but I am suggesting that we need deeper values. I think the successful companies of tomorrow will be those that make a difference, and serve the world for better. What do you think, Lisa?
I agree. I mean, a business is about making money. Ultimately, that's the core of it. But I think sometimes it's okay having the financial goals, but what do they give you? And I think that's the difference what a vision board does to just having a figure.
Brings it to life,
if you
right?
absolutely. If you make this amount of money, what does that actually look and feel like in the real world? That's the reality of what the money provides. And I think that's why a vision board is so great.
Lovely. I like that. Stuart Bettridge, mate of mine. Hi, Stuart. Good morning, Lisa and Andrew. You might know Stuart, actually. He's a Coaching Academy chappie. Just wondering, when you sit down with someone to do a vision board, what resources do you have to be prepared? A pile of magazines. Now, we're going to get onto this, but we might as well get onto that right now because Stuart's prompted that question. How do you go about practically doing this, Lisa? Great question, Stu. Thank you.
Yeah. The truth is, magazines, I mean, obviously, I always use these kind of boards, but first of all, choose your board that you want it to put on. Some people might want like a cork board or a piece of card, or I suppose my first tip would be think about where it's going to go, and then you know what size to have it. It's no good doing a massive one and then know where to put it. But it's a case of having some scissors, some glue, some magazines. You know, me personally, if you look at some of mine, they've got personal pictures on. So there could be pictures off my camera that I've really wanted to remind myself about.
Stuff.
So obviously, I've printed those off. It could even be sometimes you could be flicking through something and something ignites you and you just rip it out, or you might see an image on your laptop that you just want to copy and print. And the truth is, it's just about having I think personally, it's having the right environment for it. I think, with the music on, treat it as a little bit of a party, put a bit of music on, make it relaxing. Yeah, it's a bit
Brilliant.
more, I think because you are tapping into your intuition, you're tapping into that subconscious. Sometimes it's the environment of doing it that's as important as just like if I just sat here now, when me and you finished this conversation and started flicking through magazines, I don't think it would be quite the same as if I was to, do you know what I mean, create the ambience and sort of really think about, allowing myself that time to really relax.
Now, here's a thought for you then, Lisa. So, with all the online world we've got these days, we can do everything online. And you're talking about cutting and pasting, like when we were kids again, and how joyful that was. I mean, just everybody loves to cut and paste, right? There's something about the tactileness of a real magazine. Perhaps we're losing the power of this. My wife Sarah, she gets lots of magazines every month because she likes the tactileness of reading something physically in the hands rather than having it sort of online. Is that something that which way would you encourage us to go, Lisa?
Yeah, I mean, again, it's personal preference. However, I think, a lot of people are quite kinesthetic in the world. We like that touchy-feely. And also, I think if you think about it from I suppose, a neurological perspective, when you've got a magazine, you are literally flicking through and something will jump out at you that you don't know. When I've put these things on my vision board, I didn't know they were going to jump out. Whereas when you're looking online, you've got to search. So first of all, logically, you've got to think about what it is that you're searching for. So it kind of alters the brain functioning. I think that's the true purpose of, what a vision board is about.
Yeah, and I suppose what you can do is if you're looking for, you see something triggers you in a magazine, you can always go online and find a better one and then print it out, right? But the key is to print it out and pop it on a board.
Yeah,
so
definitely.
you talked about cardboard or cork boards. I've actually got a metal board that I bought from IKEA and I use magnets, and that's just really cool because the great cool thing about that is you don't need to stick, you just need to cut and pop on with a magnet, and it's brilliant. And this means you can change it really quickly. I've got a few more comments coming here. Andrea Hall says this morning, Andrew, thank you, Lisa and Andrew. I've had a light bulb moment as a highly visual person. I've always found goal setting by writing them down a challenge. I know I should have got rid of this limiting belief by now, lol. Yeah, Andrea. But this morning, the vision board has shown me that I can express my goals in a vision in a creative way. Absolutely. I just need to change the modality, change the media. If the written goals are quite bland, aren't they? And there is a power in writing, but I wonder whether there's even more power in the visualizing that and looking at that on a vision board. Lisa, what do you think?
Oh, definitely. Yeah, I mean, especially even for my business, it doesn't mean that we can't write the goal down, but what does the goal actually look like? Because I think that's the creative part. That's the bit that really, sort of gets your juices flowing, I suppose, really.
Flowing.
Yeah,
Yeah. And Christina says this, look, if your life feels swamped, folks, how can you slim down your life in a vision board? So there's a question for you. So if you feel swamped, how can you slim down your life in a vision board? I'm just wondering whether it is about slim down or thinking even bigger. I don't know. What do you think, Lisa?
Yeah, I don't know. To be honest, I get that. If you can imagine right now, my life feels a bit swamped of
Right.
grief, of
Yeah.
heaviness,
Yeah.
of, oh my gosh, what does that mean? But the reason why I know I need to sit down and do a vision board is because actually it will help me slim it down, because the things that are really important will pop out at me, and that
They'll
will help
pop
me
out for you.
focus and to feel less swamped.
Okay, I hope that answers your question, Christina. And Ray Black. I don't know where I got that from. Oh, I got David Bowie here, right? Here we go. Ray Black says, David Bowie wrote many songs by cutting and pasting random lyrics. He certainly did. And he would search for weeks to find the right lyrics for stuff. So yeah, spot on. I mean, a lot of songwriters do that, right? And so that, that just goes to show that some of the most famous songs that Dave Bowie certainly wrote were done through cutting and pasting. There we go. So Lisa, we talked about the categories. We've talked a little bit about how to do them. We've talked about some practical stuff here. We've talked about what they include. We've talked a little bit about online versus real copies, and we've talked a little bit about that. How often should you do a vision board, Lisa?
As often as you would like to, if that's the honest answer. I mean, I personally always do one annually, religiously, always. I think going forward, I'll probably do more, because I know that going back to that life feeling swamped, I probably need to focus. Like sometimes if I go to do myself one, for example, my health, I think I just need to have one for my health. So I'll just focus on that particular topic. But actually, up until this point in my life, I used to do one annually. And the reason I say that is because sometimes, if you was to look at all of my boards, they've all got health on there, and they've all got something yoga on there, or drinking smoothies on there, but they're all different pictures. But sometimes we kind of need to be reminded that we want to achieve that thing, and it might just be a different image might reignite a different a different motivation. But so it doesn't mean that each vision board each year has got to have something totally different on it. Sometimes I think, but it's about the allocation of your mental capacity to sit and focus and think about what it is that you want to think about. And as I say, sometimes it may continue on for years. Like my business has always been on there, but what's been on there has been slightly different because the focus for that year
changes,
maybe different from the year before.
Yeah, so right, okay, so annually maybe, but there's no hard and fast rules here, and it depends on life-changing moments as well. When we're thinking about working towards, we're talking about life changes there. What about the real big things in life? When we've got something massive that we want to do, like, I don't know, moving jobs or moving homes and things like that. Is a vision board useful for those massive goals that we're setting ourselves for the future as well? Maybe giving it work and starting a brand new business or something.
I think more than ever, if I'm being honest with you, I think vision boards are even more important for those kind of goals, because sometimes they can be big and scary. And then sometimes when we get scared or fear kicks in, we like, oh no, this, I don't want to do it. Whereas actually the vision board reminds us of why, because it's let's say we're moving home. It's not just we're not moving home just because it's a building. It's because what it's going to give us extra room. Well, why do we want extra room? Because it's going to make us feel more relaxed, and it might mean that yourself, if you've got children, aren't going to be on top of one another. So there's always wise reasons why you've got the image. And I think sometimes when we have the big scary goals, actually it's the little images that make that big picture that I think help to really keep us tuned into why we want it.
So the why is really important here, and it sounds like the vision board is one of those helpful things that you might not be able to articulate the why very well in words, but maybe you can articulate it, more better, as it were, in imagery, right?
Yeah. I think what's interesting, if I show you, if you go to
please, let's get onto an example.
Yeah, like this was my daughter's.
That's your daughter's. Lovely. I'll see if I can get that for you. Let's find it. Is it that one?
That's
Yeah.
it, yeah. So what was interesting was, because obviously she'll come and sit in my office with me, and she was like, I want to do a vision board, Mummy. I was like,
Mm,
okay. This was probably when she was in year 5, so she would probably be about 9, 10.
yeah.
And I tell you what was really interesting, if you look at some of those words, like she could, there's one there where obviously you've got the lady that's sleeping. I learned that she didn't sleep. She hasn't been sleeping very well. When she wrote the word important, I was like, I let her do it, and I was like, oh, just tell me a little bit about that. And she's like, she didn't feel important with her friends because she was having friendship issues, which was why there's that little picture of the two girls hugging next to each other. And obviously she loves art, so she'd put art stuff on there, and actually she's still really arty now. So I think also sometimes, going back to the big, the big life changes, it's interesting by doing one what even comes
What
out,
comes out?
what comes out. Yeah, because I learnt so much about my daughter at that time just by simply doing that.
So it's a great coaching tool as well, Lisa.
Yeah,
So it fetches out things that are completely unconscious, and doing it with your kids, not just an adult
yeah,
thing here, do it with your children. I
no,
remember my 9-year-old, my youngest daughter, Charlotte, she had a whiteboard, and she did exactly the same, did a vision board, and she cut loads of things out and put it on a vision board. And when I came back from presenting one day, she proudly marched me upstairs and said, come and look at my vision board, Daddy. And this was a 9-year-old girl talking, and it was lovely to see what was going on her board. And we could talk about it for ages. And you're right, there are things that come up. What's important to you? She's got there finding the flow, toughen up.
yeah,
Friendship
because
was
she's,
obviously important.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, I think because she's such a kind, sensitive girl. But you can see on there, obviously, she's got a word. You can see there's actual pictures, like my daughter herself. We just had a dog. Obviously,
Ah,
there's a picture of her and her sister, and the 4 of us as a family. So you
yeah.
can see there's
See
a
that.
mixture there of
Yeah.
magazine cuttings, of personal pictures, and of words. But obviously, that's what. When I was doing my relaxed kids training, she wanted to help me, so she got relaxed kids on there, and she wanted to be a mini coach, so we then ordered her a t-shirt. But all of that come from
Wow.
that vision board,
Just
really.
that one vision board, and how
Yeah,
much more you then understood your daughter, and how then she feels more understood as well, right?
yeah,
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 it's Ray echoes this. Strong messages from a child, absolutely. I think children are much more connected to their unconscious than we are, Lisa. So talk us through one of your vision boards, Lisa. Let's see if we can pick up some hints and tips and from you. Which one
okay.
do you want to talk about here?
Okay, so let's talk about this one then.
The
The
slow
one.
one. Okay,
Yeah,
let's have a look at that one. Is that one there, Lisa? Fine. Okay, talk us
yeah.
through this. What's going on here?
Okay, so obviously one of the most important things to me personally is flourishing families.
Flourishing families. Yeah, that's your
I
business name
think
as well, right?
at the core of of my personal belief too is that if you've got a great happy family relationship in your home, you can deal with all the other stuff, because everyone has work challenges and personal challenges outside. But if you've got that loving family home, so that's always been a thread in all of mine. And obviously, there's a picture of me and my husband, and it says, discuss the tasks together, because that was always really important to me. You can't really see it, but underneath there's like a little picture, sort of this one here. Oh, I can't see oh, I don't know.
Yeah.
Forget it. I'm going the wrong
Which one
way.
is it? I'll
But
point to it. Where is it?
just it's the little, you can just see two little red cups and some cereal. I mean, that was because that is just a picture of two red heart
There.
cups and some breakfast cereal.
Okay.
But the reason that's on there is because that's where we used to go on our own. It was our
Your
favourite place.
special
We used to
place.
go there. Yeah. And that was just when we had breakfast, and I took a picture one time. But it was kind of just to remind me about, having a loving, happy marriage. And then obviously you can see there I've got, because we just had a dog and I wanted to do more walking and I wanted to just eat. I mean, as I say, health is always on there for me,
Yeah.
because I need reminding, because I get good and then we stop and then I'm like, no, come on, you need to start again. And there it's got, find your flow in the moment. I think that's just to remind me, slow down.
Slow down.
Slow
Yeah. Busy,
down,
busy,
slow
busy.
down. Yeah, live in the moment. When I first started my business back in 2009, my goal was live in the now. because I think up until that point I'd been so busy being busy
Yeah.
that, I'd got two girls and I wasn't really the mum I wanted to be. I didn't feel I was the wife I wanted to be. You know, just lived such a fast life. And I
Just
think,
lurching. Yeah.
and that sort of like reminded me. And then you've got things there like, the effortless wardrobe. I do love clothes, but actually sometimes
Who
you
doesn't?
get stuck. Yeah, you get stuck and like, oh, what top shall I wear that with? And what shall I wear this? And I think it was just to remind me to go through my wardrobe. You do love clothes, make it a little bit more effortless. And sure enough, I decluttered my wardrobe, do you know what I mean? And got a friend to come round and, I was like, oh, help me, I've got these clothes. What would you put? And just got a little bit of a different idea. And then in the corner, really, obviously the things that I love to do, that says do more of what makes you happy. And what makes me happy is actually on there is a picture of when I run a vision board workshop to women. Friends make me happy. Obviously, I love running DISC as
The personality profiling tool.
personality
Yeah.
profiling with my animals.
Yeah.
So obviously my board's on there. And what's really poignant now, if I just look at that, you see a picture of the real fire, the flame.
The flame. Yeah.
Yeah. We had, when we moved into this house, we had a log burner fitted. And obviously, I
Oh,
love
lovely.
watching films in front of the
Yeah.
fire. But actually, I could probably do with finding a new flame because, believe it or not, that flame has become like a friend to me, because sitting in the living room on your own is not quite the same. But actually, with the fire on, it helps it to feel cozy. It's kind of like a companion. So I know, so even now, the meaning of what that fire means there and the meaning of what it means now are different, but it has a meaning to me. And that's what they're about. It's about making it important to you.
I love that. This isn't quite vision board, but it's a vision thing. When I was, I remember 2019, January 2019. I looked at myself in the mirror when I was presenting. I was in this big place with a massive mirror, so I could see myself as presenting. And I looked at myself, thought, I need to lose some weight. I'm fat. So I went on this mission to lose 2 stone in weight. So I bought a shirt that I knew would have fitted me 2 years ago. I called it my Fat Git shirt. And I couldn't fit into it, Lisa. But I hung it on my wardrobe for 6 months while I was losing weight. I lost 2 stone in 6 months. And, the proof of the pudding was I could wear this shirt. And I'm still wearing it today. So, from 2019 to 2021, almost 2022, I've kept that weight off. And because I visualized it, I visualized it through actually buying that piece of clothing that I wanted to feel happy in. And I still love wearing nice shirts today. I love nice shirts, so
Yeah.
that was a motivation for me.
Yeah, and the thing is, you are right. It's not a vision board, but it's the same principle, isn't it? It's a
Same
visual
principle.
representation. Sometimes I
Yeah.
know, if people have gone to Slimming World, or for example, or gone to some kind of Weight Watchers, they'll say put a picture on, put a picture up. Sometimes people see pictures of themselves that they don't want to look like that, but actually sometimes then it's whether you're more of a move towards or a move away motivation person, isn't it? When it comes
Yeah.
to that kind of thing. But
Yeah, what you want,
yeah,
what you don't want, and what you do want, that can be equally as
yeah.
interesting, can't they? So, Lisa, look, we're kind of coming to a point where, and we could just talk for ages. But what kind of hot tips have you got? I know you've got a PDF for us that I put in the link. What kind of hot tips have you got for us, Lisa, to kind of start this journey of vision boarding to help us to do this? You talked about a few things, but what
Yeah.
tips have you got for us, Lisa?
Do you know what I think the main thing is, first and foremost, is just allocate yourself some time to do it. Just
Right.
commit to going, do you know what? I'm going to do a vision board, and lean into the ritual. As I
I
say,
like that.
ask friends or
Yeah.
family, or, if you're going to do it in work, get your colleagues on board, allocate some time, put some music on,
Have fun.
light a candle if you need to. And just trust, get different magazines. As you say, you can look online and find them yourself to print them off, but also just make sure you look at it every day. That's the most important thing. Put it somewhere where you can see it. And actually, when you're looking at it, sometimes stop, like I just explained there to you about that log fire burning. Do
Yeah.
you know what I mean?
Beautiful. Yeah.
I
Got a
can
strong
talk
image of
about
that.
that picture, absolutely. So sometimes it's about looking at the individual things that you've got on there
Yeah.
to help to keep you motivated and to connect emotionally with why it's there. And then just trust. I think sometimes, going back to our personality, sometimes everything happens at the right time. Do you know what I mean? And I think
Yeah.
just because something's on there, if then in 6 months' time that's not happened, this doesn't work. It doesn't kind of work like that either. I think you just got to trust that it all happens at the right time when when it's right for you.
Yeah, and you don't have to do this alone either, do you? Graham Rose just reminded us. I think he was talking to Christina online here to say, yeah, you can get a coach to help you as well. You don't have to do this all on your own. You can get someone to help you to do this, or do it together, or do it, as a group of people, or whatever. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I personally like to do it in a group, even though I've got to do one. I'm having my friends round because actually, the way I run them, obviously, because there is the scissors, the glue, the magazines, we're sitting there, we're chatting like we have, and actually then we're talking about, oh, look at that, I hadn't thought of that. And it kind of actually brings your vision board to life while you're even talking about why you're sticking them on there in the first place.
Yeah, I like that. Thank you. Yeah, Maria says, great quote I read last week. We overestimate what we can achieve in a year, but underestimate what we can achieve in 10 years. Yeah, definitely. Interesting. So, look how much life can change in a decade, right? Yeah, interesting. And actually, your vision boards don't have to just be for a year, right? They can be for an entire decade if you want to be, right?
That's why, like the life, that one that you showed me, that was obviously initially what I would call my life board, everything that, that I enjoy. Sometimes it can just be, I call it the rocking chair exercise. Pretend you're sitting on a veranda and you're in your 80s, looking back at your life. What would you like to have achieved? To me, that's a life board. And it's like, actually, what do you want to have said? Well, I want to have achieved this and done this and done this. And then all of a sudden, that's your life board, really, that just makes you think about what you want to be glad that you've achieved when your time has come.
Love that. So looking backwards, pretending you're in the future, and looking backwards on what will you have achieved. I like that. Any other hints and tips for us then, Lisa?
I think, do you know what? The most important thing is to just go and do one. And then it is just go and do it. Yeah, because I could sit and say, well, you could do this, you do that. We've talked a lot about how to do them, what makes them special to you. But I think it's just committing to, maybe if you've never done one before, trying something different and notice what you notice. That's one of your favourite sayings, isn't it, Andrew?
Notice what you notice. Yeah, absolutely.
But actually just notice what you do notice,
I love that.
By looking at it every day, seeing how it feels differently for you, and how different it motivates you to maybe how you would previously set goals if you'd not done a vision board before.
Thank you, Lisa. That's been amazing. And thank you so much for coming on the show, Lisa. Thank you very much for talking from such a heartfelt place for you right now, and thank you for having the courage to do that and to encourage us to think about, look, you think life can be bad. Well, it can also be very good, but it has its tough times and it has its good times. But the vision board, the vision thing, is really an important part for all of us to think through. So I hope, folks, that's been a useful topic for you and some given you further food for thought. So thanks again, Lisa, for an interesting perspective. Lisa has a PDF of vision boards that she shared today, and I've just posted that this morning before the show, so it's already in the comments field. So grab it if you want. There's all the examples that we've talked through of her vision boards and the hints and tips that she's just talked through on a 5-step plan for you. From my side, I'm founder of a CEO community called Inspired CEOs, folks. And if you are a CEO or a business owner with staff, then I'd love to invite you to a free week or two to join our community, to try it before you buy it, as it were, and experience our game-changing conversations and hot seats. And simply contact me for a discussion. And also, folks, look, if you please contact me if you're thinking about developing a high-performing team in your business. You can find more details of that on my website. I'll put links in the descriptions later on for you. So I've talked about Lisa's PDF. So what's coming up next week? Quick word before I do that, before what's happening next week. Look, I set up Leaderslive to talk about what's, to really have a purpose, to edutain, to explore high performance topics in an informal, fun, back and forth kind of chit chat with interesting people, just like we've had with the lovely Lisa this morning. And the whole mindset and passion thing here for me, the vision thing for me here, is that businesses will succeed in these rapidly changing times by thinking about the people factor. I to the power of we, I call it. If you want to know more, please subscribe to my bi-weekly newsletter. That's one every 2 weeks, believe it or not. You can have it either way there, but it's every 2 weeks. For more information about Leaderslive, what's coming up, what's gone through, interesting features, things that have already have happened. So please subscribe to that. Next week's Leaders Live on Tuesday, the 7th of December. I can't believe it's the 7th of December. We're actually already in the Christmas season. At 8:45 on Tuesday, we have Sharon Moffat, a health expert, a mental health expert, personal trainer and fitness professional, talking about the power of hope and how that subtly links to exercise. And we've been talking a bit about mental health today, and this topic keeps on coming up, keeps on giving. And Cathy Heath talked about it in the room as well. We've had other people talk about mental health and other things. So we're having another perspective on this from an exercise perspective, and the whole thing about hope. And, Lisa's touched on this whole thing about hope too, and, from difficult, dark times to hopeful times in the future. So I'm looking forward to that, and I hope that you will be too. So be there or be square, folks. That's the strap line for Leaderslive. That's all for now, folks. It's a goodbye from me, and it's a goodbye from Lisa. Thank you very much indeed. Cheers for now, everybody. Bye-bye. Thank you.